This episode of Comics for Fun and Profit is brought to you by Marvel Shenanigans. Is it just me, or are they purposely withholding information in the solicits in the Marvel Previews catalog? Is it possible that they would try to trick us into not knowing? Is this an experiment to see if it affects sales positively in their direction? And the heck with the comic readers need to understand what they're getting into? Is it possible that they would actually use gimmicks and tricks to inflate artificially the sales of their prospective titles? I think that's a possibility, folks. It could be that Marvel is interested in profits over my and your enjoyment. Is that crazy? You be the judge. I don't want to be the arbiter here. But as we glance through our Marvel catalog, you let me know if you see what I see. Anyway, enjoy the show.
Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Kyle and Drew with your sneak peek at next week, episode number 866 for our comics originally releasing October the 10th and October the 11th. But before Drew and I get into what's coming up in your local comic book shops this coming Tuesday and Wednesday, Drew, I got an email here from our good friend Jason who helps us out here. It says, "Dear listeners, it's Jason from Hawaii. Last week, September 30th, was International Podcast Day. I just want to say thank you guys for letting me contribute to your podcast. I also want to give Drew a big shout out for doing all the hard work behind the scenes, and I want to thank him for being very flexible when working with me to release interviews, and especially those Kickstarter views. Again, thank you guys for letting me be a part of your podcast. Aloha, Jason." And no, I didn't just read that to self-congratulate us. I did also want to say a big shout out to Drew, who does a bunch of stuff behind the scenes and the straw that stirs the drink and everything, and he just lets me hit record and be a dumb little monkey, and I appreciate that. So, in lieu of all that, happy podcast, International Podcast Day, Drew.
Well, it's not a show without you, Kyle.
That's what I've always said.
Yeah, I mean, it takes two to tango, bro. And we appreciate Jason very much. And yes, we try to work with the creators to get the episodes out when they'd like them, in the windows that they'd like them. Sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I have to go to my regular job, and I don't get a chance to get them out on time. But
boo! Yes,
I know,
yes.
Boo! But we try to do what the creators want, and we appreciate Jason finding all these cool creators that are neat stuff and talking to them and sharing that with us. So we love it.
Excellent.
Happy podcast day to you as well, Jason.
Drinks are on me.
I got a new segment that's debuting this week.
Da 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 da.
Kind of curious how this goes and how this is received, because it's very.
Could we talk to the robot overlords? Are they okay with us doing something different?
I haven't asked them, but yeah, we're calling it This Week in Piracy.
Oh,
so, okay, so
like I'm the captain now, piracy, or
yeah, people that pirate
piracy,
pirating comics. Yeah, so
okay.
Back in the day, we used to get comic charts, right? And you can still find comic charts, like sales charts, like maybe an Amazon list. Some other different places have them. Usually, none of them have actual numbers attached, right? And I don't have numbers attached to this. This is just a list from a pirate site, and the reason I was curious about this is because when we used to do the sales numbers, it would show us the comics that were pre-ordered, and so those were the comic sales. The comic sales were basically the pre-ordered sales to comic shops. That's the only numbers we ever got. So that just means it kind of reflected the will of the people. It kind of reflected what people were reading, but it also reflected what the comic shop guy thought people would read in 2 months. And it reflected what they'd always purchased year over year, month after month. And a comic shop that was a Marvel shop is always going to be a Marvel shop, right? So their numbers are going to reflect that. Does that really reflect what people want? So I thought I'd look at the top comics pirated on a site. I'm not going to give you the site because we don't really support piracy. That's bad.
Correct.
It's bad for the industry. But what it does reflect is the people, what they want, and you see specifically what actual people are going out of their way to steal to read. Okay? So, it's pretty easy. The first one is obviously Batman.
There we go.
So universally, Batman's usually number one all the time. So Batman is number one, is most pirated for this week. Batman 138.
Cool.
God's number one is number two.
Oh wow.
So that Hickman release did really well, piracy terms. X-Men 27, Immortal X-Men 16 follow at 3 and 4. So X Family doing really well. Transformers number one, that debut did really well. It's top 5, so it got the 5th slot.
Makes sense.
Then we go X-Force 45, Fantastic Four 12, and then before we get back to a DC book, which is Birds of Prey number 2. So we went 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 1 and 8 for DC. DC's got Batman and Birds of, and Image had number 5. So they only had 1 on the chart so far.
Okay.
Then we see Doctor Strange number 8 coming in at number 8. Shazam number 4 coming in at number 9, and the Alien Annual rounding out the top 10. With the DC Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun right on the outside, looking in. Then at rank 11. Then we hit Star Wars, Darth Vader 39, Ultimate Invasion 4, and here's a curious one. DC's War of the Undead Gods trade comes back into this top list of sales at whatever that was, 14, 15. And it must be because the trailer's out. I don't know if you got a chance to see that trailer or not. It doesn't look. It looks well. I'm not going to say it looks amazing, but it's weird. It's weird to see it like deceased on the screen, right?
Yeah.
It's weird to see it. So, but it got some people's attention. That's followed by Ghost Rider Annual, Superman Harvest of Youth, which is like an all-age OGN. And rounding out the top 20 is Strange Academy, Amazing Spider-Man number 1. So a lot heavy Marvel, as we've seen before. Some DC titles in there, strong DC titles in there, and one non big 2.
Not big 2.
So just just Transformers from Image. So. It feels kind of like it reflects what we've always seen from other charts, right? Big two dominating, and kind of a different mix. I don't know that X books do that well. Used to do that well on the national charts, so that was kind of interesting to see. Birds of Prey doing as well as it did surprised me. People out searching that one out. That $10 DC Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun is because they don't want to pay for it.
I was gonna say, when you hit that price point, it's just like
yeah. So we don't do a lot of sales charts anymore. I thought this was an interesting look, and I might try to find some different rankings, different types of rankings to compare and contrast these things to. But for this week, we're gonna call it This Week in Piracy. And,
This Week in Piracy.
But Comics for Fun and Profit does not endorse piracy in any form or fashion, because
correct,
we are the captain now. None of that stuff. I had a question, Kyle. Did we do the top licensed property comics list already from our robot overlords at ChatGPT? Okay.
No.
All right. Because
I can only imagine what they're considering licensed properties.
I pulled that up and I was like, now wait a minute. Is it possible that I've already done this one with you, but I don't think I had, and I wanted to double
Maybe
check.
not.
Okay.
You must have done it with your other brother.
Could have been. Could have been. So, Kyle, I think you probably know what number one licensed property comic is. I'm guessing.
Yes, My Little Pony.
Oh no! It's on the list though. It's at rank 17.
There we go.
My Little Pony is at rank 17.
My guess would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I thought you would know right away. Yes, that's number 5. That's number 5.
Okay. Now you got me spiraling because you're like,
We-
you obviously know
Show just
this.
ended on Disney.
Oh, Star Wars.
Star Wars, yes. Star Wars is
Gotcha.
number 1, probably far and away. I'm guessing.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's where they're with licensed property. Transformers.
Transformers is 4.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a bunch of stuff that's just big.
Well, I don't know that they thought of things that were that big either. And this one, and when one is just like a big swing and a miss, I'm very upset
Star
with it.
Trek as well.
That surprisingly is not on here. They've put another sci-fi show on here, but not that one.
Gotcha. All right, I'm just going down the stuff that pops out into my head. We were on the same. I'll stick with like the Doctor Who's of the world.
Doctor Who comes in at number 10 for both IDW and Titan.
Oh, okay. Is Godzilla considered a licensed property?
I would think so, but it is not on here. No.
Back to the recent image. G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe is number 7.
James Bond.
That's a good one, and that's not on here. That's surprisingly not on here.
See, I'm thinking of things like, Ghostbusters, but I don't think those are big enough.
Ghostbusters make the list?
Yeah, like
Yes, Ghostbusters is a rank 19.
Oh, wow. Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, I know are on there. I saw them. Yeah, they're at rank 9.
Yeah, and see, like the Mega Mans and the video game things of the world. Not big.
I don't see Mega Man, but there are a couple of video games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, one I didn't even know.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic is one, yeah, for both
That's
RG and
the biggest one I
IDW.
can think of.
Yeah, but it's all the way down in the 20s.
Gee, Turtles the biggest of them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was 5. Sonic was 6, though.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse type thing?
That probably should be counted, but they didn't count that. So, here's one. At rank 2, they put Walking Dead.
See, I'm missing the second. Okay.
They put
I
Walking
almost said
Dead.
that,
But
yeah.
Walking Dead was a comic.
Comic before it was a property.
So
Yeah.
I hate to say this, and don't tell them, but I think the overlords are wrong there.
I agree.
Yes, but
Yeah, because in that they'd be like, hey, have you heard of this Dune thing?
Yeah, it's like so. Then at rank 3, they have Buffy the Vampire Slayer from Dark Horse and Boom.
Okay.
And you said Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sonic, G.I. Joe. You said the X-Files came in at 8 from Topps and IDW.
Yeah.
You mentioned Power Rangers. You mentioned Doctor Who. Aliens from Dark Horse and Marvel now. Predator from Dark Horse and Marvel now. RoboCop from Dynamite. Planet of the Apes from Boom and now Marvel. The Crow. I haven't seen a Crow comic in a while, but okay.
Yeah.
The Terminator, I guess, was licensed.
Okay.
Makes sense. You mentioned My Little Pony. You missed Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
Very disappointed
yes.
in that. You missed
Even
that
though
one.
he crossed over with DC characters.
Yeah. So you definitely was a cartoon first before it was a comic, so that counts. You said Ghostbusters. The Simpsons on Bongo. Those were a big deal. Jurassic Park. Stargate SG-1 makes it from Avatar Press, but yeah, you mentioned Star Trek, not on here. So that's bull, right? Avatar The Last Airbender makes the list.
Weird.
World Wrestling, WWE.
Oh, the WWF, yeah.
Yeah, that makes it. Dungeons and Dragons makes
But
it.
it's starting to get more popular, yeah.
Yeah. Conan the Barbarian. Sonic, you
But see,
mentioned.
like the Conan isn't Conan like open source or whatever they call it.
Conan's. You're right, because was Conan a comic first before the movie happened? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Conan was a comic first. Um, Sonic, you mentioned. Adventure Time. Rick and Morty. Firefly. The Legend of Zelda made the list. I thought that was
If only
interesting.
it was higher on the list.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat. The Witcher. John Wick, which I don't remember it being a comic. I
Okay.
did not know that. You, I don't know if you mentioned The Crow, but The Crow, Twilight Zone, The Mask, and Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
So lots of licensed properties. Some misses, I think. But hold that against Swords. They did the best I can. We'll forgive them. Kyle, I've got the solution to our dreary evenings. We can
Yeah.
we can pop a little Magic Mind
Ooh.
and get a little pick me up and still go to sleep, just enough to give us some clarity of mind, a little creativity, get the creative juices flowing, maybe give you one or two before the podcast, to really focus you in. What do you
You
think of
fall
that?
asleep during one podcast, and all of a sudden that's your problem.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, absolutely. The worst thing you want to do is, brew a pot of coffee at middle of the night right before a podcast.
Yeah.
Then you're up the entire evening. What you need is good, sustained energy, clarity of mind, not, a jolt of caffeine that hurts
Yeah.
your body and all these things. Absolutely. And Magic Mind does all that stuff and has that. Okay, matcha. I want to talk about matcha, Drew.
Okay. All right.
The green vegetable matcha, that buzzword, that superfood. I didn't think I'd like matcha. I
Uh-huh.
am starting to like matcha, and that's one of the big key ingredients here is that lovely green superfood that has the benefits of all the keeping you goings.
Yeah. And it's cool stuff. It's pricey,
Mm-hmm.
matcha is, but they stick it in this with some great other ingredients, all natural stuff. But you can get it through us with our code. So we want you to check out this Magic Mind elixir. Check this out. It is go to magicmind.co/comicsfunprofit.
And elixir really is the perfect word for it. It's a nice little elixir. It's very cool.
Yes, for sure. If you feel you want to try this out, go to magicmind.co/comicsfunprofit and use our code. You can get 20% off of an initial one-time purchase or up to 56% off of a subscription. So if this sounds good to you, go to magicmind.co/comicsfunprofit and use our code CFP. You can get up to 56% off your subscription for the next 10 days with the code CFP, or you can just use that discount code CFP at magicmind.co/comicsfunprofit to get 20% off a one-time purchase. Just to sample, dip your toe, check it out. Kyle, did you see who's on the cover of the new Marvel
I
catalog?
I did. I saw it. I'm like,
He
oh
does. He's not looking good.
no, the death of Moon Knight. Can we finally stop talking about him again? And
Just
can
put
he
him to
just go
bed.
away like
Yeah.
he did with Drew for multiple decades?
He was gone for a while. He was.
Of course, this is October for December in our Marvel. Uh, the death of Moon Knight on the front cover. Let's scroll down and see if that's actually the comic we're going to lead with. Of course, it's not. We are leading with this #1, written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing.
Yeah, and they're talking about the
Again, the future of the. How many times have we behold the future of the Marvel universe? It seems like there's one of those every week.
we have beholded it a lot. That's a great Alex Ross the Gatefold cover, but
That is.
I'm still curious on who this is. This the Moon Knight Unending character?
Yes, we have Power Man and Moon Knight on designs.
Okay, looks like Moon Knight to me, but all right.
Yeah, but he's got,
Oh,
sigil in his chest.
oh he's a android.
Yeah.
So the ascension of ancient the Moon Knight Unending has risen, a nightmare born of Stark Tech, the Eternal
I was
Machine,
just
and the
about
God
to
of
say
the
he looked
Mud.
like Tony Stark stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
That is. You've got Capullo doing. That's cool.
Capullo's doing that?
Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, you have Moon Knight Remembered by.
Oh wow.
But I don't know how you buy.
What is that
Okay,
for?
that is apparently maybe telling us about Moon Knight 30.
Moon Knight 30, which kills him off.
Yeah.
And it's just must be yeah, it's one of the variant covers. I hate these people. I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Yep. So $5 a piece. They didn't gouge you like they did with Timeless, because $7, a $7 Moon Knight 30, and we're gonna get $5 out of you. You've got to buy how many covers? Let's see how many covers Drew has to buy.
I'm not.
One,
I'm out.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and
Can I? That's $50. So you're telling me I gotta go buy $50 worth of Moon. Now, should I just get the Capullo? That is nice.
that Capullo. Inyuckli's nice too. You know, Peach Momoko.
Looks like he's sinking in quicksand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Capullo's gonna be the big one.
Yeah, Capullo's the good one. Long live the night, they say.
Mhm.
And then we follow that right up with Vengeance of the Moon Knight, and he's
Yeah.
back alive again.
He has got some wicked weapons.
He was dead. He was dead for a second.
He was
that's
dead for
January.
3 digital pages.
So that's on sale in January.
Ooh, so okay, but he's not white. He's black. Not he's black, but his design is black.
The Midnight Mission, the Congress, they find themselves clad in black.
of morn. And this, that's coming out in January. So instead of holding that for a month and making us think he was dead for any amount of time, they pre-sold that.
Yeah, not even gonna. We're not even gonna wait for the January solicits. We're just gonna wedge that in here. Okay.
You go right one page past that Vengeance of Moon Knight into this Finch cover. Has Moon Knight ever been yacked or yoked? Look at him. Has he ever been that muscular?
No.
The heck, man.
No. But I mean, when Finch did the Vengeance of the Moon Knight run, the original, yeah, he was cut. He was a bigger, bulkier.
He's Juggernaut slash.
So Capullo does another cover for Vengeance.
So that Rest in Peace, that second cover looks like a homage to the Batman cover, almost that coordinate bet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Capullo's phoning it in.
He phones it in, and I still buy it.
Oh yeah, it's very nice.
And now we're back into Gang War. Spider-Man 3.
The Gang War kicks off here. Did we not talk about Gang War?
Gang War kicked off last month.
I thought it did too, with a bunch of stuff, and I said I'm mad. I'm angry.
Rawr.
We determined, because there was no Kingpin.
Gang War can 140. Gang War can Daredevil.
Yeah.
Gang War 1. Gang War continues in.
So you're right. Yeah, because I think we saw that it was going to run over multiple months of Gang War.
Gang War continues. Deadly Hands of.
Really? I guess that makes sense.
Shang-Chi. Spider-Woman 2. Continuation. Luke Cage.
So do you think some of these tie-ins are just like, hey, look over there, it looks like there's a gang war going on, and then they just tell their own story?
I think these specifically came out for Gang War.
So there's they're full on gang war tie-ins.
Yeah.
They're not just like, oh, I think I heard there's a gang war going on, and then they just do whatever they were going to do anyway.
There you go.
That's what I would do.
No gang war in Superior Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Or Carnage 2. Or Spider-Boy 2. It's taken us 2 issues for Spider-Boy to be slushy in.
I've
Punisher no logo. Punisher 2.
I've not read a single Spider-Boy. Is it good? Have anyone read it?
Not his own thing. We'll have to see what his solo book. White Nipple Punisher. Punisher 2.
Sure.
Yeah, since they can't decide between OG logo and awful new logo, they've simply put a pause button and 2 white pads. It's
okay. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about Secret Wars happening with the retro pack.
Curious about the Scotty Young of it all.
White Widow. There's Gods.
And then Peach is doing a. Oh,
Yeah.
you talked about how people are reading this God, so there we go.
Yeah. Marvel Zombies, Black, White, and Blood. Whole bunch of folks doing that. Oh yeah, we relaunched Sensational She-Hulk.
Is that a Ryan? That's a Ryan Brown cover. Capwolf.
Looks a little blurry.
It's the most interest I've had in Capwolf.
Yeah, well, yeah. I didn't even know what that was. So there you go.
Spine tingling Spider-Man 3. Predator versus 4. Apparently they've just.
Yeah. Ben Piracy with a variant cover by Bill Sienkiewicz.
I was just about to say it's Sienkiewicz variant.
Giant Size Superstars gets a facsimile edition. Thing versus the Hulk.
Marvel Voices. Spider-Gwen Smash. No.
So what does that mean?
The Mary Janes are as the opening act to Earth 65's biggest run.
Oh, Smash is in playing the drums, not
Yeah.
Smash is in Hulk. God.
Hulk, which immediately I thought.
Oh, okay.
And then you get this DNA cover on the next.
That's pretty great. The
DNA,
Sentry.
is that David Nakayama? Is that who the DNA is?
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. Sentry number 1. Did we already launch this thing?
Yeah, they're not giving us dates on. Retailer, please note the early FOCs for the 3 previews.
So we've already seen Sentry number 1? I don't remember it. We've already seen Thunderbolts number 1. Yeah, and so they're just giving you why? So people aren't using the FOC, I guess. I'm trying to think why they're doing this.
I'm not sure either.
We've solicited these in the last catalog. You guys didn't order enough, or yeah. So this is the last. This is basically your FOC. There won't be an FOC on Sentry, or
You think?
Or it's already passed. It's the same as this catalog's deadline, right?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
I am unaware.
Since it's being like they're resoliciting stuff that they solicited in last month's catalog. It's basically going to line up. I would guess it would line up with the FOC time for these two. So by the time you have to have this order in for this catalog, the FOC will be about the same.
It's very possible.
I would guess. Guess. It does kind of make so. I mean, like, is this Avengers 8? Is this just the regular Avengers that would normally be in here, or is it last month's? I can't tell. I think that's what that little disclaimer says. So this Daredevil 4 is actually from last month's. But what about the Fantastic Four? Is it like every other page?
Yeah,
or they just
because this Alpha Flight and X-Men 29. Same thing with Invincible Iron Man.
What is going on, man? I mean, is that just they were solicited in November because they were advanced solicits in November? So they were just extra advance notice in November. These are actual December books, or
Please,
were they
Eric,
November
help
books?
us out here. We are lost.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'm all the way down on page 53 at original X-Men number.
Okay, and are you excited about it?
No, but it's neat to see the OG costumes. It's kind of neat. Facsimile of Wolverine by Claremont. A new printing of the facsimile, Drew.
Oh, what does that mean?
No, Wolverine 40 Stark Sentinels. So you've got the X-Men Sentinels, but only Iron Man.
Gotcha.
Avengers Incorporated 4, we have Moon Knight in that. Wondering he must die after that. Plus, in his very last guest appearance prior to his. So, Drew, you may have to get Avengers Incorporated 4 to get his last appearance.
Don't do this.
Not first appearance, last appearance.
Yeah.
Okay, Drew, the industry is officially dead. The bookmark is at 11:31 p.m. on October 6th. The industry is dead, and it has been murdered by the Ski Chalet variant of Captain America 4.
What
That's
page
right,
is this?
we are doing Ski Chalet variant.
What page?
I am on physical 57, digital 59. Captain America 4, and there is a Ski Chalet variant by Greg. Hey, can you pick your favorite Marvel character and then send them on a ski trip?
He's got his little gear, He's getting
He's
ready
got his snow jeans.
What is going on?
That is the weirdest, dumbest, and
Whose idea was that?
uh, people with their finger on the pulse. You know what the people want? They
What?
want ski chalet.
There's 15 ski chalet versions. There's one for Amazing 40, and oh my goodness, Spider Woman's got a couple. Spider Boy's got a couple. Thunderbolts has a ski chalets. X-Men has ski chalets. But the first time they showed it to us was Captain America.
Not sure why they hid that for 57 pages, Drew.
Well,
Perhaps it's because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, Doctor Strange gets a ski chalet. Magical, I'm guessing.
And,
ski chalet. Wow, that's nuts. No ski chalet for Hulk though.
He was not invited.
Yeah, the alien doesn't get a ski chalet either. And no Star Wars ski chalet.
Oh, I can
Not
see
fair.
R2D2 on the slopes.
Wow.
Yeah, there is a ski chalet and a ski chalet version variant.
Yeah, nuts.
Good old Bjorn Barons were doing the Ghost Rider. The Ghost Rider, not skiing.
That's good. Good small
Aliens
favor.
2. I love the tagline for this. Bodies, bodies, bodies. Star Wars Revelations #1 by Guggenheim, Charles Greg Pak, Mark Bernard, and from the High Republic to the original trilogy, and we are on. Jabba the Hutt, Darth Vader, Mace Windu, Keith Trennis, Thrawn, and more. Introducing new characters, new twists, and new turns across all the Marvels. This star-studded issue puts the people on the board for what's to come in the galaxy far. So what? $7, 56 pages. What? Is it? Huh?
Right.
So it's just everything put into one.
Which one is this?
Star Wars Revelations #65, digital
Oh.
67.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was down at Dark Droids trying to make sense of who Scourge was.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Fit it all together.
Yeah, because they've got High Republic stuff, and they've got OG stuff, they've got old school stuff.
It could just be like a anthology type deal. Different stories that aren't really interconnected.
Yeah.
But now they have High Republic Phase 3. What do the phases mean?
I don't know, but as soon as we finish with these Star Wars things, we have a big old page here on 70. Attention, please note the early solicit checklist for on sale in weeks 1 and 2 of January 20. This is due to 11, 20, and 27 FOC weeks falling within the catalog's date range. Full solicited for including cover art and solicit text catalog for January on sale time.
Okay.
We've screwed up previews.
Because of their FOC, because the FOCs are in November, therefore they solicit them in this catalog? Okay.
It's amazing how we've had previews work correctly for decades, and now all of a sudden.
Yeah. But this is PRH, so Penguin Random House, and what we heard from Eric was stuff comes early. So they get their comics way earlier than they were getting them from Diamond, and so that they must have a method to this madness to get this stuff there on time. I just don't understand. I don't understand the date ranges. I'm getting confused. So
now we're on to hardcovers and collected.
Always nice, but no.
Not the way I read comics.
Not the way I read comics either. The occasional OGN.
100%.
Not a lot of trades. Unless I guess if I've missed something. Like, oh, I should have read that book. I have to go trade for it. It's possible even I miss things. I know it's hard to believe.
Yes, how?
Yeah, I don't read every single thing that's put out. I only read a certain percentage. So things do.
All
get
right, Drew. I've
under the
closed out
cracks.
that, and I've thrown that preview. I'm done.
Wow.
I'm done with what may or may not be a preview for what may or may not be this month, that month.
You're done. You're completely done.
I'm done.
All right.
So I'm heading over to coverprice.com. I'm pulling up their weekly hot 10. What the top 10 in the secondary market is. Let's hope they can get that. At rank number 1, we have that cool Wolverine 37 Capullo cover that was the one per store variant.
Yes.
Our boys are still all selling theirs. 103 keys, $100 for was the high sale, but you can get them for about $60 if you're. At number 2, Void Rivals. Number 4, the 1 in 25 spoiler. It's a spoiler because Shockwave is on the. He got a new design, but who knows what the original say. So Kirkman doing Kirkman-y cool things. 40 copies on the secondary market for this 25, so there's several out there. We saw a pre-sale of a CGC 9.8 for $130. But, I mean, you're talking ratio 1 in 25, but you're going to have to give $65 if you're chasing this beast. All new Wolverine number 1, the Bengal regular cover. This is from 2016, Drew. This was the height of Laura Kenny for UI, too.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
We saw issue 2 spiking a few weeks ago, and now it's this book's turn. It's the debut of X-23 as Wolverine in the classic costume. And it's seeing a spike after another Deadpool 3 rumor hits the internet. It was reported that Marvel was working to bring Daphne Keene, X-23 from Logan, into the project before the strike derailment talks. The strike is now over, and fans eagerly await to know if true. While they wait, the aftermarket insert this book.
So wait a minute. So that's was that the young girl in the movie?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So she's not going to be Honey Badger. She would be X-23. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. That's fine.
There's been rumored there will be multiple cameos featuring Wolverines from the multiverse. Tracked 51 copies in the secondary market, so a lot of people doing this. $120 for a CGC 9.8, $28 if you're searching for near Met Rawls of this Bengal. And man, Wolverine is stalking this thing. At rank 4, Wolverine 26, the Ryan Stegman regular cover. This marked the first appearance of Helverine. We've been talking about that for a while. We saw another 38 copies move. $29 was the high sale for a Raw. $23 if you're chasing it down. At rank 5, we have Spawn number 1. I refuse to talk about it anymore. We've done it for a million times. $193 for 9.8. $31 for this dollar buck. At rank 6, Night of the Cadillacs number 1. Per the Hollywood Reporter, yet another deep cut comic is receiving an adaptation. Expose Studios and Scout Comics have teamed up with Sony to produce an adaptation featuring a member of a vampire gang running off with his human woman, a la Twilight. That's the bare minimum you will need to know, and we encourage you to dive down into the rabbit hole for what it's worth. Along with the digital adaptation, we're receiving a comic adaptation called Lipstick Klika from Scout Comics later this year. Both books are available as of this writing over at scoutcomic.com. 33 copies, $35 for a CGC 9.8, $6 if you're chasing her down. I repeat, Night of the Cadillac. At rank 7, Spider-Man 2099, number 175 for a CGC 9.8, $14 for near mints. Superman for All number 1, James Gunn strikes again. This book was relegated to the $5 and under bin for many, many years, but no longer. Recently, James Gunn cited this book as one of his favorite Superman stories and an inspiration for the upcoming Superman Legacy. It's a classic Superman story following him through different points in his life, narrated by those who affected him. Crafty creator extraordinaire James Gunn can do a lot with a story so full of heart. Track 23 copies in the secondary market, $14 for Rawls. You can get it for $5, but $14 was the high. I think American Alien would have been a better point. At rank 9, Dazzler number 1, will it or won't it be Taylor Swift? 26 copies in the secondary market, $180 for CGC 9.8, $11 for Heart Attack number 1, Drew. That's right, Heart Attack number 1. This image book from 2019. As quickly as this book rose with confirmation that it would receive the live-action treatment, it fell off even quicker. Yet it has made yet another appearance. It'll get swept up in the flurry of news that often batters the community, but projects with momentum behind them typically rise again. This book is no different, promising to bring an interest from the comic page to a TV near you. The subject matter hits a little closer to home, making some fans. Despite that, Aftermarket sales have continued to rise along with fair market value. It's still a cheap book. 15 copies tracked, $18 for Rawls, 13 if you're digging through the weeds.
At rank 11, we have Star Wars Dr. Aphra 36, the EM Gist, Star Wars Clone Wars 15th anniversary Ahsoka. So this is, just Ahsoka on the cover. I think we saw this last week as well. Only 8 copies of this moved. High sale of $215 for a raw, and current near mints around 184. So doing pretty well. It is a 1 in 100 incentive. So that's it. Rank 12, we have Birds of Prey, number 2, the Otto Schmidt 1 in 50. It's a pretty book. Only 9 copies of this Black Canary cover sold, but a high sale of $199 for a near mint. Current raw is going around 162. That's well above the ratio there. We have at rank 13 Suit Spidey, and how many of these did we move? 29 more copies of this one moved. High sale of $444 for a near mint plus and raw copy, and raw very fines going for about $184. At rank 14, we have Sonic the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary number 1, the 1 in 10 Jennifer Hernandez cover. This one sold an additional 13 copies, high sale of $35.95 for a raw, and current raw is going around $20. At rank 15, we have Venom Lethal Protector, just the regular cover. 21 more copies of this sold with a high of $135 for a CGC 98. Current raws, if they're near mint, are going for around $9. At rank 16, we have Swamp Thing number 9. This is volume 3. So this is let's see, back they're referring to back in House of Secrets 92. Bernie Wrightson introduced the comic world to a new hero from the moss-ridden depths of the bog. Swamp Thing was a notable hit and went on to have an ongoing series shortly after its debut. Since the appointment of James Gunn as co-chief of DC, Swamp Thing has seen renewed interest. DCU's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, will include the infamous Swamp Thing. This issue offers a collector's classic cover for one of the DCU's All-Stars. So because it's got a great cover, I guess that's a great cover. I don't know. So it's Swamp Thing Volume 3, number 9, and it sold 11 copies with a high sale of $449 for a CG. Raw is around 87. Don't see it. Rank 17, we have a Mega Man number 3. This is the first Lobo. Continuing to kick around whether Jason Momoa is going to be Lobo or not. 17 copies of this moved with a high sale of almost $400, $395.95 for a CGC 98. Raw near mints around $65. Rank 18, we have Wolverine number 1. This is the one they've done multiple printings of the facsimile on. So we continued to sell 27 copies this time with a high sale of almost $400 for a CGC 98. Raw is around $67.
What do you think is the more iconic Wolverine cover? That one or the claws up with the reflection?
Probably that reflection, yeah. This is a second, probably, but that one, yeah, it's the one with the claws.
Yeah.
At rank 19, we have Ultimate Fallout. This is the first Miles Morales. 18 copies sold. $1,849 for a CGC 98. Raws around $425. And finishing us out is Predator versus Wolverine number 1. The Virgin 1 in 100 by Alex Maleev. Take a quick look at this. Nothing special.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a shadow.
It's a little murky, but it's Alex Maleev. 17 copies moved. High sale of $102 for a 1 in 100. Not great. Current roll's around $75, so that's pretty awful. Not shouldn't even be on the list, really. I would say.
But what should be on the list is the making sure that you find your, I would say, comics at the last minute before they come out, so you don't have to change them on the secondary market. But Marvel's trying to sell them to you 5 different times, so who friggin' knows? But for now, we get a really cool list from our good friends at Deep Dish. We have some time changes for this weekend only. Lunar distribution items, all other distributors, 12 p.m. Monday. Keep that in mind.
Even though it's Columbus Day, nobody's closed up there.
There you go. They've chosen not to. But let's see what the FOC is, see what we got to chase down, what's distribution items, see what we got there for the 8th. We're going to start with the 8th because there's also the 9th for Luke.
Yeah, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. What was I thinking? Star Wars, my goodness. It's the special #1. It does have
Star Wars is in the sky, whereas Aquaman, they're really the opposite.
Yeah. I think the photo cardstock variant might have some. It's actually just Jason Momoa on the cover, and those always seem to do well, especially for folks that want to get those things signed and things. So, that might be a good one.
Heck yeah.
Along with the blank. The blank always does well.
All right, Drew. We have Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Scorched Earth #1. Cover B, Adam Hughes cardstock. In the least Adam Hughes cover I've ever.
Yeah, it is.
It's essentially just car crash.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's very well done. But will Adam Hughes people want this one?
Not what they normally get from Adam. I'm all in on this damn Gotham War. They got their hooks in me. I've read every single damn
Gotham
one of them
War,
so far.
Yes, Gang War, no.
Well, I mean, I never say never, right? So I don't think so. I don't think I can hang for 6 months of Gang War. I think Gotham War will be over pretty soon. I'm enjoying it.
Kendrick Kunka Lim with the other Catwoman Gotham War cover. Not bad. I like it.
I like this Jason Sean Alexander detective cover. Interesting look to it.
I'm going to talk about a Scout Comics book for a second, Drew.
Okay.
Because we're talking about this Captain Ginger, the Last Feeder. No, or is Caddy? See, I'm all confused as to which one of these. But there is a very neat homage cover for Star Wars cover.
Yeah, I don't know.
This might be an Ahoy comic.
Okay.
I've got to double check on that. Yeah, I think it's an Ahoy comic, but I like Walt Simonson Unlock Very.
We've got is local comic shop day coming up again?
LCS 23.
November 23rd,
Yeah.
Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Okay.
Yes, because, buy local before you buy retail on Black Friday.
So, so we've got a local comic shop day, Red Light #1 from AWA. It's a not safe for work polybagged variant. Priscilla.
Where are you seeing this thing at?
I'm on 10.8 still.
How far did you go?
To the L's.
Okay, you skipped a ton.
I didn't skip a ton.
Okay.
Were you going to talk about Faceless in the Family?
Yeah.
Were you?
Nope.
You were going to talk about Faceless in the Family. Can I say I want the polybagged?
Yeah.
Polybag looks pretty cool. And it's AWA. It looks like it's the only one version of that. So it's either something that's already out and I missed it, or it's going to be out, but the LCDS Comic Shop Day version comes out first. Oh, there it is. Red Light.
Yep.
Sarah Cho, Priscilla Petrides, and Jeff DeCow. Jeff DeCow has his own following for covers, so that cover A also might be pretty good and well sought after. And then Frank Cho, we know he does good covers as well.
But even for LCSD, if you want these things, I'm guessing make sure you're seeing them because they're very allocated and limited.
Yeah. Lots of Red Light. Could be a good one.
If you get Frank Cho to draw a lady on the front, you're going to get some people.
Yep. Lots of Somna #1. Is this a distillery book? Because it's got the weird
I
shape.
was going to say it's in an odd shape, so that either... Yeah, distillery.
That's distillery.
Becky Cloonan and Tula Lotte for $9.
And we get a Joel Jones cover, but I don't love it. Jai Lee's not bad,
and
though.
The Joel Jones in 10.
The Jai Lee is really nice. I don't think it's a 1 in 10, is it?
Nope.
It's really good.
Did you talk about the Somna #1, another polybagged?
Yeah, so there's a polybagged version of this one, too, from Distillery.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, two different publishers are going the polybag route.
Yeah, I can't tell if that one might be a different format, too. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be landscape like the rest of the Somnas. It looks to be portrait.
That was my just curiosity there. Oh, well.
And the polybag looks like a brown paper bag, so that's kind of neat.
That I liked very much. And here we have a bunch of Supergirl #1. Everybody trying to rip off Art Germ, even though, yes, I realize Frank Cho did it first, and he's do it whenever he wants the other one.
Yeah. And then let's look at stuff coming out on the 9th. Blood Commandment with their Lost Boys homage cover and Lost of Us homage cover. And what's the first one, Kyle? Is that it?
I think that's what it is. Or some Stephen King property.
Yeah.
Ice Cream Man Sunday edition.
Just a hardcover.
I love it. Moonshine Collected. Good series.
Saga Trade while we wait patiently for the next January
you're
issue.
Waiting patiently.
For 3 months. Stupid.
Oh, the Bumblebee second printing of Transformers #. Wait, we're soliciting the second printing along.
Look how many second printings there are.
Printings.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing.
Yeah.
Robert
Those
Kirkman,
are all.
You lovely bastard, you.
Take all my money.
Yes.
There's a lot of second printings. So he said, "Oh, Marvel, hold my beer. You're doing 1 second printing."
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not doing one in 10s and 1 in 25s, but he's doing 5 of these second printings for maybe 6. It is. It's cool.
He can do no wrong.
Let's slide on down to
the other things on the 9th and look at some Boom Studios thing.
It's Approach #1 from Boom. It says something like BSE Varlucci. Am I supposed to know what that? That's a Lurchi variant. Okay. It's Jeremy Hahn and Jason Hurley, my people that did the Beauty.
Ah, that's right.
Oh. It's a $20 book. What is going on there?
Real. I'm skipping this one. Skip the Book of Slaughter one, too.
These aren't... What are these?
$35 weird things.
What is going on? It's confusing me. Yeah, I got a little turned around there.
Black Panther 6, the Stephanie Hans Knight's End variant. That is a great Moon Knight. That is one of my favorite in a long time. Did you see that?
No.
So you're in Marvel.
Uh-huh.
Black Panther 6.
Black Panther
Stephanie
6.
Hans Knight's End variant.
Oh. Very cool.
Really good.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Deadpool 7 Slaughters. Elizabeth Torg variants. Cool.
Lots of Punisher.
Gods #2.
The Punisher, David Pepose, the Miko Sion cover, and you're saying this is a pause symbol with a couple of nip covers.
Yep. Can't you see it?
Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah.
How creative of them. Wow.
So, is the skull and crossbones even kind of in there in darkness, maybe, in relief? I don't know. Why am I defending them? I don't have a dog in this fight.
It's just dumb. Stop the dumb. Put back the old symbol.
So many Knights In variants, throwing Moon Knight on everybody's cover. It's crazy.
Well, it's his month. It's like they knew he was going to die in 2 months.
It's weird how that worked.
Star Wars High Republic #1. This is the Phase 3 High Republic, a year after the destruction of Starlight Beacon. Markio and Ro and the Nile stand victorious. The galaxy is in turmoil. The once mighty Jedi are outclassed. The Republic is on its knees. By the way, spoiler for High Republic, not Phase 3, just FYI, as I was reading that. On the edge of the galaxy frontier, Jedi Master Keeve leads a desperate assault against the invading force. I always clings to hope. They're right? Not so fast.
There's a new Thanos. I read the last Thanos. I mean, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think who that. I don't remember who that was. But this one is Christopher Cantwell. I don't know if I need more Thanos. I think I got enough. But there's a new Thanos.
There you go. Bamfing Spider-Man number 3. What if Dark Tomb of Dracula number 1 has a really good art germ variant? And it is, of course, written.
It's What If Dark, pause, Tomb of Dracula number 1.
I went, what if Dark Tomb of
Dark
Dracula?
Dark Tomb of Dracula.
Which sounds like a better title.
I actually kind of prefer yours.
Facsimile of X-Men 141. Dynamite's got Alex Cooper number 2. Gargoyles number 4. Savage Red Sonja number. This is Dan Panosian, Savage Red.
I am down in the back half. That has partially been already taken care of by the Lunar distribution folks. Curious about that Blood Commandment with all those cool covers.
Mm-hmm.
It's another chance for you to talk about Faceless in the Family that you didn't want me to go by. So there you go.
It wasn't. You went by Detective, which normally
I did.
At least talk.
I mentioned Detective. And then I moved on to AWA book.
Remember what book it was. It's great. Forgotten in 11 seconds.
It was Red Light.
There we go.
Lipstick Clicker. This is a scout. You are Lipstick Clicker. Caden Phoenix, Marcello Servicio, and Rob Pryor. All-female gang of shape-shifting vampire cholas. All right.
You had me at cholas. I'm having some trouble finding anything else I care about, Drew.
Yeah, I get you.
A few weird Antarctic people care about.
Yeah, I'm looking at that phaser looks terrible from American mythology. Yeah. Not my kind of stuff. Yep, I know what I've got locked and loaded.
Red Light number 1 from AWA.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Drew, this is the point of the podcast where I ask for your...
Yeah, I'm going to go with Red Light. I'm not going to go with Not Safe for Work, polybagged, like you think I might.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Jeff decal cover A. He's got a following. I just noticed that there's like a shadow. It looks like there's a guy that hung himself, and there's a shadow of his legs dangling there on the cover.
Creepy.
It's very creepy. But I'm looking forward to this. I hope Sarah Cho's a good writer. I don't know.
And I can't help it. I'm going back to Transformers. Second printings. I'm going with the cover E. Greg Tassini with my boy Bumblebee on the cover.
What? Which one are you going to do again?
Cover E. Greg Tassini.
Oh yeah.
With my boy Bumblebee upside down the cover.
That makes. Yep. I can see that for you.
And it's just because Transformers makes me.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yep. You know, this makes me happy, Drew. Our good friends at comicbookinvest.com. There they release their Hot 10 each and every Friday, and we scour it to see if we can learn anything. They always have great information. I'm heading over there, and I'm looking at the number 1 slot, and I'm finding Birds of Prey number 2, the 150. Around 10 pre-sales before release, selling for between $100 and $200. Since release, another half dozen sales, hitting a crazy high amount of $275. It's quite a premium on a new release book, even at a high ratio. Yeah, that's nuts. And the cover is okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice cover. I just can't see it going for $300.
Either. People are nuts. At rank 2, we have X-Men number 130. This is, of course, the real first appearance of Dazzler. She's back, folks. About 90 sales since Taylor showing up at Chiefs games, but it's in a box with the stars and director of Deadpool 3 that had the internet abuzz again with the Dazzler. 9.8s are back up to 2K after a quick dip the previous week.
Yeah,
I
the
did
same
not
thing
even put
was.
together that those were the Deadpool people.
I
thought
didn't
she was
either.
just friends with Blake Lively. And
I did not put it together either, and had to have it explained to me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, I'm
it's
dull.
like I was interested in the football of it all.
Yeah,
Rawr.
exactly.
At rank 3, Transformers number 1, the 1 in 100 spoiler. Another Transformers spoiler cover hitting the market hot on the heels of Void Rivals 4's 1 in 25. This time it's a foil 1 in 100 for a book that was so highly anticipated that shops had midnight release parties. I love it. I love it.
That's so awesome.
Around a dozen pre-sales this past week for $75 to $190. The cover was quote-unquote spoiled early on as copies were in shops' hands as early as late. But since release on Wednesday, there have been a few more sales in the $125 to $175 range. I love us getting back to life.
Oh, that's great.
Excitement is on. Spawn number 1. Woohoo, Spawn number 1. CGC 9.8s for $150. $30 for a dollar book.
Let's back up. It was never a dollar book, Kyle.
It was
never.
I found it for $1.
I don't think you did.
I'll go find it.
Yeah, go find it now.
No, I mean I'll find it in my stack, and you know how cheap I am. I obviously didn't pay cover for it.
I can't believe that they moved 100 of those
Yeah.
this week again. Like it just continues to move. It's so amazing.
True. Department of Truth number 1. Tinian provides an update. The Department of Truth has resumed production. There is also an upcoming bootleg edition, limited convention exclusive for New York Comic Con next week. This has returned interest in this series. A ton of covers on this, but cover A is selling again at 50 plus. Copies sold for $10 to $25 raw, with an outlying high sale of $40. 9.8s go as high as 60 to 80. Talked earlier about Superman for All Seasons number 1. Our good friends at Comic, their number 6 item. James Gunn is still selling comic book. As he mentioned, this series is one of his favorites. Will that translate into an actual inspiration for his Superman film? You can do worse than Loeb and Sale. With 40 sales, mostly near the $5 cover for this prestigious book, but highs around $15. Ranger Stranger number 1. About 20 sales so far this week, following the announcement that Kevin Hart is going to produce this as an animated series. Multiple covers, including store and convention exclusive, but the regular cover A has been selling between $5 to $10 with a high of 15, similar to Superman for All Seasons. Void Rivals number 4, the 1 in 25 Shockwave spoiler cover. Another 30 or so sales this week. Last week was mostly about the pre-sales, but now that copies were in people's hands, it continued to sell. Average sales inched up from 50 to 60 this week, so this slight increase and continued volumes warrant another spot on this week. At rank 9, we have Thrawn, number 6. About 20 copies sold this week, either individually or in sets. It looks like Thrawn isn't going anywhere. While many originally speculated this book for the first appearance of Arlani, Thrawn's one-time superior, it seems the recent push for the first meeting of Thrawn and Vader is not a big fan of I'm not a big fan of first meetings, but this issue has some things going for it, as Rawls are selling for around 30, while complete sets of the Thrawn series are going for over 120.
We loved this series when it was out.
Yes, it was great. And Amazing Spider-Man 601. I keep wanting to get these sets from these J. Scott Campbell sets. Personally, not a fan of these reprinted foil editions that have been doing ad nauseum, but they do seem to drum up interest in the original variants. Remember all these Batman 423 foil that they did for the first print? Well, we are getting a foil JSC for this classic MJ cover, and people are going back to the original with over a dozen sales in the last week, pushing prices up to $200 and a CGC 9.8 for $570. Back into our notable sales column with them, they have Spawn 185, CGC 9.6. I've said it before, Spawn collectors have no guardrail. They want what they want. How else do you explain a CGC 9.6 selling at auction for $17,100 with 64 bid? It makes one wonder what one of these number 6 9.8s would bring if they ever get, because they're apparently 6 on the census.
Yeah.
Mystery Men Comics #1, CGC 5.5. The Golden Age first appearance of the original Blue Beetle has quite the sales as a heritage for CGC 5.5 at 24K. Not many comparable sales in the last few years to give that context outside of maybe a restored 6.0 that sold for 6,600 back in December, or a CGC 9.0 that sold for 41K, but that was way back in 20s.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a book I didn't know a whole lot about, but that's cool that Blue Beetle is still commanding some money for those first appearances.
Now we're going to slide on over for our sneak peek at next week. We'll start at Lunar on the 10th and look at Batman and Robin #2. I meant to have that first Batman and Robin read so I could give my little mini synopsis for the folks, and I did not get to that in my stack. Shoot.
Perhaps next week, Phil.
Yeah.
Batman City of Madness #1.
Yeah, it has that great cover B Sienkiewicz that
Yeah, I
I
love that.
chose a while ago. As probably an FOC, I'm guessing.
Pausing for just a moment to look at Mad Magazine 34 with the Barbie cover. That's awesome.
That's
Wesley Dodds,
believe
The
it.
Sandman #1, one of those old Golden Age return books, just reminding y'all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, that's back again.
Thank you to Mad Magazine. I now have I'm Ken stuck in my head. Going for an October 11th to see October 11th items for releasing.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you've read a Mad Magazine lately, but wow, they do not hold up, Kyle. When I was a kid, I thought those were the bee's knees, man, of highbrow humor,
Mm-hmm.
and I could barely get through one. I was flipping through one. I was like, oh my goodness, I thought this was funny. When did I think this was funny? When I was a kid,
When you were
obviously.
a child.
Yeah.
We talked about the Scout Books Fungi #1, a bunch of feudal Japan mushrooms. Just reminding you that exists.
I forgot
is a
about
thing.
that.
Haunted Girl #1, Ethan Sachs and Naomi Sachs with a Joe Quesada cover. Hey,
Well, that's kind of cool.
yeah,
Suicidal Japanese girl.
yeah.
16-year-old. Interesting concept.
Also, if you're
For fun.
Walking Dead collector, a lot of these Image books are having 20th anniversary of Walking Dead already.
Yeah. Mom Breaks the Internet from, this is the Leanna Kangas cover. Jay Sandin, Patrick Mulholland. Barbie Reed getting laid off from her computer programming job the same day her 15-year-old daughter is arrested at a protest. Nice. Interesting.
Epic covers are epic. Or, I'm sorry, something epic covers. We've got our Sixth Sense cover, and of course our It cover.
Sickness, #2. Remember the first one did really well. Low print run. Jenny Cha might do okay. I don't think the Tyler Boss is going to do anything.
Heading to new releases. Looking at our Boom Video titles. Firefly, The Fall Guys #1, going to a second print for Boom, so that sees some brown coats still interested.
Yeah, it's great to see Damn Them All #9.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Our Marvel books, of course, we have the Amazing Spider-Man 34, the Disney 100 variant, 300 homage. That's really the standout ones. Disney Mickey homages.
Mm-hmm.
The facsimile for Daredevil 180 is the Punisher cover.
Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night, Marvel Tales #1. I'm guessing that's a reprint story, nothing new, I would guess. Superior Spider-Man Returns #1. They say it's a one-shot, but didn't you see a #2 in the solicit?
This is not a one-shot.
Maybe it's a different one. Like this is a one-shot and then they launch it again to get 2 #1s. I wouldn't put it past them.
Es muy posible.
Nothing in Dynamite for me.
Army of the Dead relaunch. Fun garbage covers, but that's about it. American Psycho from Massive. Greg Staples, best known for his role in Judge Dredd, and as a concept art, Magic the Gathering brings his realistic, painterly style to capture the likeness of.
Okay. I mean, this movie's been long gone for a long time. Is it still relevant?
I was referencing the business card scene just the other day.
Like the bone white.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Of course, I love the still frame from the movie. Even though I doubt you're going to get our boy to.
Yeah, when you're gonna run across him.
Good for you.
Okay, I guess I was wrong. Maybe it does have a following. At least you.
Yeah. You could either take him as Batman or American Psycho. You know.
Yeah. Take them both. Invader Comics gives us Greetings from the Maglev Chap. 1 of 3. Oh, it's a $15 book. Forget you. Stick it. Same thing with Blue Moon Comics. Gunbreed #1 is a $10 book.
Yeah,
Forget
we got a lot
you.
of San Diego Comic-Con bump things. Kill Your Darlings #1 going to second print for Image.
No, I don't think we saw that one. It's a midlife book that I've selected during FOC time.
From Image Comic, we have Knights #1, Drew Wyatt Kennedy and Formasano. Ongoing series premiere from Wyatt Kennedy, we know from Bolero, and newcomer Luigi Forasano. Supernatural creatures exist among the common folk in America is compromised of just 31 states. 2003, and Vince Tommy has lost his.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool concept. Not All Robots, that was so good. Now they're collecting it as a trade. Operation Sunshine's homaging our what's that sex criminals cover?
Yes.
And beauty cover that they did.
It's our Sears Portrait Studios.
Yeah. So good. That's when comics were comics, man. That was the heyday. Saint Seiya Knights of Zodiac Time Odyssey #1 from Ablaze.
Are we sure that's not anime?
Well, it's Ablaze.
Yeah.
I don't think so. A Blood Moon LLC as well. It's really gross. Gross cover.
A lot of blood. TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures Halloween the Turtle.
Huh. Very cool.
TMNT Usagi Jimbo Where When Director's Cut.
Also cool.
Zom Vikings from Fair Square. The title says it all. Zombies, Vikings equals.
Yeah. Oh god, it's $13.
Drew, I know you're going to steal mine on though.
I won't steal it. You want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Haunted Girl #1, cover A, Joe Quesada. The Ethan Sachs.
Yeah, that is a good one. That was on my list. But I'm going to go with Knights from Image, the Wyatt Kennedy, Luigi alternate universe type of vampire thing.
Yep, that was another one that was on as well. Very cool.
Yeah, very neat.
We picked 2 Image books. I like that. That's back to the old days, Drew.
Yeah, we used to do that all the time.
All right, I want to thank you for tagging along with Drew and myself through our sneak peek at Neck, through all the shenanigans and fun we had. If you want more shenanigans and fun, head on over to patreon.com, find comics for fun and profit. Throw us a couple bucks and you can find all the different behind the scenes, ad-free, and fun we have. Be part of the Slack, part of the conversation. Find out what we had for lunch, all kinds of fun. For Drew and for myself, see ya.
Our LCS is Cowabunga Comics out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, and their mail order company, Deep Discount Comics. And we went there, and we were actually invoice number 00001. We were the very first their very first customer, which was kind of cool. They've been nothing short of fantastic, customer service wise. Discounts, they were very close, if not the same or better than DCBS on a lot of things. Over and above customer service wise, always taking care of us, going the extra mile, so responsive, getting instantaneous responses back to questions about things, to the point where knowing the stuff you like and anticipating your needs and having it suggested that you might want to add this to your order already before you even have to think about it. That's kind of cool. Really quality experience. So we love working with Cowabunga and Deep Discount, and that's why they're in our show notes every single episode and have been for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. That we leave them there because we like them. They're cool, good people. That's why they're in there. By God, they'd tell you to, if you've got a local comic book shop that you love, stay with them, because everybody needs to support their local comic shops. But if you're looking, check them out. You can check them out in the show notes. There's plenty of ways to get a hold of them. Either get on their list, just so you can check and see what kind of FOC and pre-order stuff they have and the discounts, and they'll send it to you each month, get you on that email list. And you can check out their shop, because they have a great shop of exclusive Cowabunga variants. Amazing stuff. Yes, they've always been there for us, and we take them for granted. So there you go. Now you know.